Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question.
Okay, I was trimming some of my boxwood a couple weeks ago, and I had some gnat-like insects come off coming off the bushes when I was trimming.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what kind of insects those are and how can I control those?
Well, Melinda helped me on this one, but I am suspecting that he's gotten into the adult stage of the leaf miner, and I hope I'm right on that. And if that is the case, the material Merit by brand name or Imidacloprid by technical name is one that you mix into water. You literally and simply pour it down around. And I did this the other day myself. I should have done it 2 weeks ago, but I got it done with a sprinkling can. I just walked around the plant 3 trips around with what amounted to 2 gallons of water with the material in it, and I'm hoping to stop that creature, because last summer, where I did not apply the material, I did see some of the damage from these guys. Now, Melinda, how far off am I?
Well, I would tend to agree with you, and we don't see a lot of the leaf miner. I know sometimes midges are a problem in your area as well. And then, just keeping the plants healthy to allow them to tolerate the damage. And often if you can break the cycle, too, you could minimize. One of the concerns with imidacloprid, as you know, is the impact on pollinators. There's a lot of debate on that. Luckily, timing so that you're not treating plants when they're in bloom is important, so that you're doing it after they flower or when they're not in bloom, things that are, pollinated by bees and butterflies and things. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to be seeing more and more research coming out on this and more advice on how we can keep our plants healthy.
Well, I think some of the advisors are going to use a fairly heavy hammer, too, because I have heard people speak to having to cross-pollinate with a camel's hair brush. Now, you think of doing a whole orchard that way, you're going to spend a lot of your day with a brush in your hand. And we just don't want that to happen. And something is happening to the critters. It is a little bit beyond our understanding even yet. And I agree with you. But I still think, in this case, I had trimmed hard on my boxwood to get them back in shape prior to growth. So I cut off most of the flowers. I was not concerned about. Dan maybe will be dealing with a plant that's in flower, but I don't know that a terribly big number of plants will mess with boxwood as far as flowers are concerned.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com